Hi there, my friends. How are you doing? My name is Ashley Brett and I am the Message Fixer. Today, I'm continuing my three-part series on virtual presentations. I want to give you the ins and outs, the do's and don'ts, so that you can be just as successful virtually as you are in person. All right, so the second video is all about preparation. I want to make sure you are preparing your content so that it provides maximum value and impact, and also some very practical things to do in the midst of your virtual presentation to ensure success. All right, so the first thing is when you're planning your content, if you have control over the length of this presentation, I recommend trying to keep it to a maximum of 30 minutes. Okay, when it comes to virtual presentations, it's much harder to keep people engaged, and so you want to make sure that you are not going beyond 30 minutes because it's just much harder to keep people engaged. But I have some great ideas to help you keep people engaged. All right, so as you're planning your content, you want to be thinking about something called contrast. This is something that we as human beings naturally look for. If we hear love, we think hate. If we see big, we look for small. Okay, it's something our brains naturally are doing. And so you can use that in your content as a way to create engagement. So you can have, for example, what is versus what could be. So you're painting this picture, an aspirational picture for your audience. Okay, let's say you have a potential topic and you know that your audience is going to be concerned about the price. The price is too high for them. So if you build this into your presentation, so you talk about like, hey, I know what you're thinking. This is too expensive. But then you contrast that with the fact that, you know what, our product is now 50% cheaper, but will give you twice as much productivity. Okay, so just start thinking about contrast and how you can build that into your content. Okay, the next thing when it comes to engagement is using the tools that come with whatever video conferencing software you're using. I recommend Zoom, but use whichever works for you. And those things are polls, quizzes, surveys. Those are all things that you can deploy in the midst of your presentation to get input, to get something back from your audience. Because when you're in a physical environment, when you're presenting to a group of people in the same room, you can see how they're reacting. They can raise their hand and ask a question, okay? You can call on them to solicit information, but obviously that's much harder when you're talking about a virtual scenario. So use those built-in tools, polls, quizzes, surveys. You can even use a feature where people can raise their hand digitally, so you know someone has a question, yet they're not going to interrupt the flow of your overall presentation by chiming in and the mic crackles and it distracts. It's kind of like someone slamming a door in a physical presentation. It just distracts you. All right, so use those techniques, those tools that you have. Another really great thing, if you can, is, hey, maybe there's an opportunity to have a guest speaker. Maybe it's someone on your team, someone that's right with you at that particular moment when you're doing your virtual presentation. Have them jump in. Okay, they could be physically present or they could be remote as well, and just turn the focus onto them. And it's a way to just create, again, more engagement, have your content resonate, and again, persuade people. All right, now, a couple very basic things you want to keep in mind, okay? Now, when it comes to virtual presentations, just like a physical presentation, you want to set some ground rules for everybody, right? So the first one I always use is, since we are all virtual and people may not know who else is on the call, is I recommend having my participants introduce themselves before they ask a question. Okay, so that you want to make sure everybody knows who's asking the question, because it changes the meaning and the weight of that question depending on who's asking it. Okay, when it comes to questions as well, from you as the host, as the presenter, don't ask general questions like, hey, what did you think of this presentation? Does anyone have any questions? Okay, too general. You need to instead be specific. So ask people at periodic points, does anyone out there have a question about this specific topic I just covered, or this specific thing? Okay, it's just going to help narrow it and just minimize all the distractions and noise that's going on from people. The other thing, again, as the host, as the presenter, you want to be building that connection with your audience, okay? And in many cases, even though there may be 100 people or 1,000 people on that virtual call, they are just looking right at you. They don't have all those other people in their periphery. And so when you're using your language, rather than saying everyone or, you know, all these people, you want to say you. I want you to be successful. I want you to learn these new techniques. I want you to adopt these new approaches and have more success in your business. you see how powerful that can be when you say you? Because I'm connecting directly with you. Okay? Now, if it's a team meeting, okay, within your company with a group that's part of your organization, you can use we. Okay? The whole idea is you're just trying to create a connection and build that relationship. Okay? Another final point, this will often happen if you have a lot of people as part of your presentation, is you'll get people wanting to ask questions. And so rather than you having to both do the presentation, switch between your video and your slides, and answer questions and all these other things, it's great to have a moderator. That's someone that can be remote as well. They don't need to be with you, but they can be remote, and you just give them control over basically prioritizing the questions. Okay, so they're looking through those questions, they're prioritizing them for you so that they come to you already organized. You're not having to sort that out. Because remember, this is a virtual presentation, so any types of distractions, whether it's from you, from your audience, noises in the background, technical issues, those can all really have a detrimental effect on the success of your presentation. All right, so keep those things in mind. I hope that's helpful. Again, I just want you to be successful. I want the people that you're speaking to feel that passion, to understand how smart and how savvy you are, and that you are a subject matter expert. And this will all help your audience have a great experience and help you get the results that you need in your virtual presentation. All right, my friends, good luck out there. If you have any questions, please post them below or send me a message. I want to make sure you're getting maximum value so that you can be successful. All right, my friends, cheers.